The Mecklenburg County ABC Law Enforcement Division provides a free training program to ABC permitted establishments called the Alcohol Seller and Server Excellence Training to educate employees on the possession and sale of alcohol. This ABC officer training covers underage sales, forms of acceptable identification, and employee age requirements. The Mecklenburg County ABC Board, more than a bottle.
Hi, I'm Madison James, afternoon host from Mix 1079, and welcome to Radio One's Charlotte Community Mental Health Series that we have going on. It's been a very impactful series. We've learned so much with this series as we partnered with Mecklenburg County Alcoholics Beverage and Control Board. And this will be a space where you can find hope, resources, and assistance. Each month, we're going to discuss a topic for you. And our listeners, we hope it affects your life and changes your life and puts you in a better mental and behavioral state as we put attention towards that health. For this month, the topic is navigating the holidays with resilience, and to provide us with the toolbox that we need to make sure we get through the holidays and it's not too rough. I'm so happy to have Miss Karen King, Senior Vice President of Hope Haven Incorporated. Welcome, Karen.
Thank you so much, Madison, for having me on and this great conversation that we need around this time.
I know, yes, there's a lot going on around this time with the holidays, and mental health is very, very important. I know some people think holidays, happy time. Yes, it's happy time, but also it can be triggering too for certain individuals, depending on what you've gone through and what the holidays do mean for you. So if you can, let's talk about how we can focus on navigating through the holidays, but doing it with resilience, doing it in a way that I guess we're going to leave the holidays feeling more positive than we thought we would have felt going into the holidays.
Right. So even at the best of things, at the most coping skills, the holidays can be stressful for the most perfect person. You have the best job, the best kids, the best gifts, the best family, the best support, and it could still be very, very stressful, very trauma invoking, regardless of your background. Now, you marry that and couple that with any kind of behavioral concern, mental health issues, substance use disorder, and it just compounds that impact of potential isolation, potential loneliness, and all those things and traits that come with that. So you look at that, plus the holiday season, which is normally seen as joyful time. We look forward to that. We take time off work. Our kids are out of school for 2 whole weeks, driving us crazy. And those are the best times, So if we look at those things and pick out one thing, wow, what if I didn't have my son to celebrate with for those 2 weeks? And how that can completely and just totally impact my entire last 2 weeks of the year up until the middle of January.
So how does Hope Haven, tell us a little bit about what you guys do and what you bring to the table?
Well, Hope Haven is a therapeutic community. And what does that mean? The biggest part of that is community. So our individuals that come here are single men, single women, and families. And so you think about how families are defined. Could be a grandmother and 3 grandkids because the daughter may not be in the picture. Could be a wife that is suffering from substance use disorder and the husband wants to be there to support her. We accept all those definitions of families. And so once they come here, they have a 2-year time frame to pretty much reestablish their entire life. So we think about any disease, there's always going to be a pause on life. Bills get behind. I may miss time from work. I may miss grandma's birthday. I may miss my niece's graduation. Those things that are missed, here at Hope Haven, we give a 2-year time frame to reestablish those relationships, reestablish those work habits. In any disease, substance use disorder, there's going to be gaps in employment a lot of the times. Individuals come here, they work on their mental health, physical health, their emotional health. They work on reestablishing those relationships they've lost from the last X number of years of using. So here they have an opportunity to redefine what healthy looks like for them. And here our staff, we do whatever we need to do to ensure that happens within their time frame. We say 2 years, they may say 18 months. And when they leave here, they are now CDL certified. They're heating and air certified. They've regained custody of their children. They're now allowed to go back to mom's house for Christmas, for Thanksgiving, for New Year's Eve. They also have apartments. They haven't had an apartment. There are so many gaps in their employment and in their history of apartments and living. Now they're able to say, my apartment is this. This key opens my door. And so that's a small portion of what they get here at Hope Haven during that 2-year time frame.
Now, Karen, some of the tools, let's get into that tools that you share at Hope Haven. And I know people may hear this word a lot. It's been used a lot. And I know you're going to do a better job of actually explaining what it is. People use words like boundaries. I have to create my boundaries. But really talk about, from your setting, what those boundaries will look like for someone who's really trying to reestablish their life and not be triggered by the holidays, maybe putting them in a negative situation.
So you're right. Boundaries has been a hot word for a long time. It has been a very, very hot topic word, but it's so appropriate. It's lasted time for a reason. And so that when we think about a toolbox, there are not 10 hammers in a toolbox and that's it. There are screwdrivers, there are flatheads, there are drills, there are all kinds of things to finish that project. That is the same thing we do here at Hope Haven. We equip that toolbox to deal with any kind of life situation. So whether that be isolation from the holidays, whether that be sadness from the holidays, whether that be not having enough overtime to buy my son a PS5, that is very triggering. And so with that toolbox, what do? We have things in there like boundaries. And what does that look like? We start in January, saving money because we know we want to buy our son a PS5. That is a boundary.
Okay.
And so we use those things to equip our kids, equip our family to know that I'm planning all year for this one event. This may be something that I've missed because of substance use disorder, mental health over the last 5 years. So that's one key thing, being able to set limits. Okay, this year we've had a lot of financial stress due to whatever. So our boundary is we're all going to spend only $100. Those are putting limits in place. That's another key thing to setting up boundaries, which adds additional tools to our toolbox. Also with that, we can look at a toolbox as having that key turn. Holidays are going to be a lot of time with family gatherings, celebrations, possibly some alcohol, possibly some other kind of use, possibly family members that trigger us. Having that limit. I'm going to come to the Christmas dinner, but I'm only going to stay an hour. Another tool to put in the toolbox. Having that family member, you reach out to them, hey, when Uncle so-and-so has his third glass of wine, say we need to leave and go get a present. Having that support system. That's going to be really, really key in looking at the holidays and looking at those tools that we need to be successful.
Almost like having a game plan. That's what it sounds like. We're going to go into this with a game plan so it doesn't make things feel awkward, which sometimes you're worried about that when you're bringing yourself back into a situation where you have set up boundaries. You don't want to seem awkward. And sometimes if you're walking into a situation that's triggering, right, those individuals may make you feel like, oh, this person is acting different. This person is doing this, and this person doesn't think they can hang with the family. Can you talk about how you help people navigate that and also touch on how it might be that you can't be around your family? Like it just might be, that might be what you have to do in order for you to be successful, and that might be a little isolating. It trigger depression and other things like that. So can you kind of chat about that a little bit for us?
Great segue. So a big part of those, again, sticking with that toolbox, and I like how you put it, that game plan. We would never go into a 5-on-5 game of basketball without having a point guard. We wouldn't go in with 5 centers. We would never do that. So having that game plan. And also a big part of that is being transparent, being honest. If I'm coming in and I've made changes from the person I was last year, I have to have that network in place, that one favorite cousin, that one favorite friend, that one sponsor, and allow them to know, and for me to be transparent. Hey, you all know that I struggle with depression. You all know that I struggle with isolation. You see that because you haven't seen me in 4 years. So the ability to be transparent and be open, that's also a triggering thing because it can make you more vulnerable. So that one family member, that one support, oh, wow, we haven't seen Karen in 4 years. Let's all whisper about her. How am I going to behave in the kitchen when I see Aunt on the back porch talking about, wow, where has Karen been? So being able to be transparent and be open and be honest, it's going to be beneficial for the individual. It's also going to be beneficial to their support network. They can see, wow, this is not some disease that has them in some far off island. This is a very relatable condition, very similar to any other medical condition. If I showed up and I had diabetes for the last 10 years, when I show up, they're going to offer me more salads. Why? Because they want me to be healthy. They want me to live longer. They're not going to offer me things that are going to trigger my disease. If we as a community and a society could really see those behavioral things as a disease, just as anything else, which it is, the outcome would be so much different. So I think that's going to be a big part too as we approach this holiday season.
When you're talking with your clients that you're helping support at Hope Haven, you said something really key. It is a disease. So what language or how do you kind of make them feel like you're not different than someone that would have, like you said, diabetes or heart disease or any other type of disease? Because when you're dealing with substance abuse and things like that, people can make you feel like you're a little different, like, oh, why can't you stop? Or why can't you do this? And why can't you do that? And you don't know what that person's gone through. You don't know what triggers, what coping mechanisms, because those were the tools they had at the time. Before they get to Hope Haven, they get a whole new set of tools, how to handle those certain situations when life comes about. So how do you break that down? Because I think, isn't that, when you say like that's the first like breakthrough to go, there's nothing wrong with you?
Bingo, you hit it right on the head. I've often used over 20 years in this field the analogy of cancer, substance use disorder. If someone has cancer, you have those visible signs, hair loss, weight loss, those various things that happen when someone is going through cancer treatment. You don't see those same signs when you're talking about substance use disorder. People don't often see 5 criminal charges as a symptom. That's a choice. Again, it goes back to further explaining to our community the importance of understanding the symptoms. That could be isolation. That could be a poor work record. That could be 3 evictions. That could be only having friends for 6 months. Those kind of things. So just breaking that barrier and just, again, being transparent and just having that conversation. Hey, these are things I think about when I lay down at night and I have my using dreams. I dream that I'm still using. And when I wake up, I pray and thank God that I did not. So being able to be transparent with those family members and just be ready for their feedback and their comeback. Because a lot of times it's just from lack of understanding of those symptoms.
Yeah, and with that feedback, right? Once they're in a better mental state, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in that better mental state, which I know you guys at Hope Haven help people work through that, there might have been some damage that was caused along the way that maybe they weren't aware of or just weren't in a mental state to understand the impact that it had on their friends, their family, even their kids. Especially, I would say, especially kids, right? Especially young kids or kids where you haven't been present. Talk about the guilt, because you got to overcome that, right? So we don't go back to the things that we were doing that put us in that situation.
Yeah. So just again, with any disease, there may be lifetime symptoms. They may never disappear. The difference is, how do we deal with that? I think about a recent resident that we have that has 5 children and from a different county. The mother came here as a single mother with a plan of gathering her skills, preparing her life, getting in school, and getting her kids here. She came in and she worked extremely hard. She was in school. She was in our training program here. She was volunteering and working part-time and managing her kids in a different county who were with family members.
So almost like overachiever, wouldn't you say? Like that pressure of the polar opposite of, I'm going to do everything so perfect and right. I'm sorry to cut you off on that, but that is one of those, like, I didn't do it right this time, but let me get it right this time. It's almost like an overachiever, which can be stressful, no? Wouldn't you say?
It could be a heavy burden. because she got her kids here on a Friday. By that Tuesday, 4 out of her 5 kids were in school, new book bags, new coats, and smile, not making any noise in the cafeteria, all within 3 or 4 days. So that means
Wow.
they've done the work prior to them getting here. And that burden, I've seen that. So when I think about this particular lady, I see her walking around campus, and her kids are in line. They're better behaving than some of our staff, and that's a concern sometimes. They're better
Maybe
behaving.
she's not working for you guys. Maybe that might be her calling. You know what I mean?
But I see her and the relief she has, even in her walk. When she first got here, her cadence was extremely fast. She was overly involved, and I got to get it right really quick. Her cadence now is almost like a drill sergeant. Hey, this is what we got to do. These are things we're going to do. This is how we're going to get it done. When I compare that to other mothers, and you talk about that burden, I can think of in the last 4 years, we've had probably 7 or 8 moms, same scenario, getting their kids here during the holidays. And the sad part about all those moms, she's the first one that I could think of that was successful. They all either relapsed or put some barrier in place, and they were unable to obtain their kids to come here full time. So that burden you're talking about, it's extremely hard. The most natural thing a mother supposed to be able to do, but you add on top of that, well, she has 10 years of use. So they bring all that here to Hope Haven, our community. We coddle, we nurture, we provide whatever they need so that individual can be successful and build that toolbox. And as a mother, it's a job just to be a mother, period. Know the barriers.
Mm-hmm.
Now you add recovery. Now you add a new community. Now you add a new job. Now you add navigating the public transportation system. And all your kids got to be in the bed by 8 o'clock every night. So it's extremely, extremely stressful. But again, that one example is that it is possible. That recovery piece is possible. And I watch her now during the holidays. I see some of the gifts coming in. I've been by her room, and I can see her tree in there. And she's working. And just to see that success. And I hear, even in her conversation, hey, Miss Karen, guess what? I complete my LPN February to something. So you just look at that, and I hate to keep harping on her, but that one good example of she has everything she needs in her toolbox, and it's still open, and it's reconnected with family, and I can go on with the ands about this particular resident. So yeah.
I think that's an amazing thing. It gives an example of, again, right, your program.
Yeah.
When you work the steps, just like anything else, right? When you work the steps, it does work. So I think she's a testament to what you all are doing there. Because if you have somebody that says, well, this just wasn't right for me, and this doesn't, well, if you follow the steps, you got professionals like yourself that's been doing this a minute, right? And your goal, Karen, is for everybody to win. I can just see the goal is for everybody to win. You guys don't want anybody not to win. They're at Hope Haven. And speaking of winning, how do you help the kids? Because you just talked about the kids are on campus. How do you guys help the kids that, you're there for the parent, right?
Yeah.
But you see the kids are impacted by it too. So how do you guys help the kids?
So the kids on our campus are everyone's sweet spot. We have maintenance staff, we have operations, we have culinary, we have the clinical team, which are licensed clinicians, certified clinicians. We have our CEO, we have our admin lady. Everyone loves children. And so anytime on our 8-acre campus, we may be walking to lunch, walking to the chapel, anywhere on campus. Anytime there's a kid and you look, every staff member stops. Whether it's to help him ride a bike, whether it's to tell him, make sure you stay in the blue area, don't go in the red area. So it's just, again, it speaks to our community. So how do we provide that? We provide the best that we can clinically for the parents. We give them an opportunity away from the kids to heal, learn new coping skills, how to be sober, how to be clean, and how to be a parent. Because they're managing being sober and all those millions of pieces and being with the child they may have been separated from. They may have been in foster care, may have been with grandma and grandpa for 3, 4, 5, 6 years. So you're bonding with these kids and the potential issues or concerns that children may come with. They come with behavioral issues. They come with medical concerns. They have come with mental health concerns. And they don't show up until they get to this campus. And now they're open and all the focus is on getting well. So then we see those behaviors. Kids slamming a bike down. kids slamming a door, and how do we deal with that? We have trained clinicians here that work with our adolescents and with our parents, just specifically on them outside of recovery, just how to be a parent and what that looks like. And the kids see that. They see the moms and dads. Mom didn't scream at me when I slammed the door. Let me slam it again. Something's different. So the kids see that as well. So again, it's all circled into that same cycle of making the parents better, helping them be better, and the kids have no option but to follow right behind the parents.
Now, is there group therapy with that? Meaning, like you're working on the parent, like you said, teaching parents how to be parents, teaching parents and individuals how to get back into society and function in a way that they were not functioning before. So, how do you have your sessions with the family as a whole? Helping them reset, because like you just said, kids express differently.
Yeah.
So that could be them screaming and yelling, or it could be as simple as maybe wetting the bed at an age where you're like, they express differently, and if you don't have the tools to pick up on, they are angry, they just don't have the vocabulary and the emotional intelligence to be able to express how they feel. So how do you guys tackle that during the therapy sessions or the I'm saying therapy sessions, but the classes and things that you all teach parents? So that's a big. If you don't have proper, you can not have patience, and children require a lot of patience.
Very true. So we have an entire family unit. And so we have a director over that program, we have an adolescent counselor, and we have a VP of clinical services. Those are just three of the main folks that work with our children. We have individual groups for the kids, age appropriate. We have play therapy. Anything that's outside of our scope, we never try to address it, but we do refer out, because we would do way more damage by trying to address something that we're not equipped to do. So we screen and we identify, wow, John's 10 and he's still wetting the bed, but he didn't do it every day. He only did it one day a month. What is that? So we refer out for medical assessment. Hey, he's fine. He's medically fine. We start addressing that with either something like a Thompson's or Alexander Youth Network. Any of those referrals that are going to help figure out, it's not medical, is it behavioral? And so those things we're going to refer out. Wherever we refer out to, that agency and our adolescent counselor, they're going to work closely together to figure out what can we do to help John. So whatever that treatment plan is, we're going to implement it once they get back here.
So just like your clients have a toolbox, you all have a toolbox, which is super cool too as well, all the resources that you have. Can you discuss a little bit, and you touched on it as we've been chatting away, with campus and housing. Can you discuss on permanent housing assistance and the importance that it plays toward the path of recovery?
Very much so. So again, I've been affiliated with Hope Haven for over 20 years in various components. And for years, the focus was, let's get you sober, let's get you a job, let's reconnect you with someone. You're done, you're successful, discharge. Now what? And then this phenomenon of affordable housing came out. And we're still trying to figure out what that really means, but we're working within it. And so now we have several housing programs. We have an entire workforce development with a housing case manager. And his main job is to scour the city and figure out apartments, homes, different rental properties that will allow our folks to come in. If we think about it, most of the time when you rent something, they want you to have what? 3 times for income for the rent. There's not a lot of us that have that if you work 3 or 4 jobs. A lot of us have it. A lot of
credit,
right.
Credit, like if you like that keeps a lot of people from there's some great people in there. If your credit is not at a certain score, you're not going to get certain opportunities. And then what? Proof that you've lived somewhere else and all, like for your clients, it's an uphill battle off the jump.
It is. And I'm so thankful and glad that we have these housing programs such as Lotus, such as contracts with the city, which is TBRA, which is providing a basic voucher to set them up for a year or 2. Hey, you have 2 years and you only have to pay 70% of what the rent is. We're giving you 2 years in additional case management to help you reestablish your credit, establish a year of living somewhere. Wow, now you have a whole year of a lease. So we provide a lot of those housing programs. We have an independent housing program right here on our campus, Housing with Hope. And so we have our residents that maybe their credit score is 622 and they really need a 710. They can stay here in one of our housing programs, Housing with Hope, for an additional year. During that time, they're paying a fee, not rent, but a fee. And they're accruing an exit fee. They pay a total fee. A part of that goes into a savings. So when they exit, they could have a check for $3,600 to put down on an apartment.
Oh.
And that's just one of our programs here. So we have one case manager that manages all of those individuals as it relates to their housing.
Well, we're about to wrap it up. I've enjoyed talking. I could talk to you all day, Karen. I've enjoyed talking to you, hearing the amazing things at Hope Haven. What are 3 takeaways, okay, that those are watching that may be going through recovery? What are 3 takeaways that can set them up for success as they go through recovery during the holidays?
Secrets keep you sick. Don't be scared. Secrets will keep you sick. That. Think about it. We've had an ailment in our back and we don't go to the doctor for 7 weeks. If we had gone on week 2, things could look different. Secrets can keep you sick. Don't be afraid to ask for help. That can be a family member. That could be a priest. That could be, heck, somebody on Facebook. You can make an anonymous post. Hey, I'm struggling with isolation and it's Christmas Eve and I really want to drink. Post it out there on social media. Be ready for the feedback. Be ready for the feedback. But also, if you have someone that's on social media, if you're not quite ready to go face to face, but you're kind of ready to get some help, and you're sitting at home and it's 10 p.m. and everyone's asleep, what could you do? You could text someone real quick. It's sort of impersonal, but you're able to get it out. You're going to get the feedback. That's one thing. So secrets keep you sick. A second thing I would say is pour into somebody else. We've heard this saying a million times. Someone is always worse off than you. We've all heard that. Volunteering and putting yourself in a position to help someone else gives you perspective on what you're going through. And that can give you an outlet to help and to even gain coping skills from, wow, you've been through this and you're able to deal with it. So helping in some form or fashion, whether that be volunteering in an agency, a shelter, helping someone, pouring it forward, those things are going to be helpful. And finally, I just say, find an attitude of gratitude. And that may be easy to say. It's a great cliche. It's been said a million times. Find one thing that you are grateful for, no matter how big or small, and maximize on that. Whatever that looks like. If that's just buying a $5 ball for a kid you always see, and that makes you feel good, that attitude of gratitude, something that's going to make you feel better. Once you start feeling better, you start doing better.
That is so true. Like I said, Karen, I could talk to you all day. I mean, you've been doing this 20 years. You're in the business, and with your spirit, I know you guys are doing some amazing things at Hope Haven, and all your clients, you're changing lives. You're setting people up for success as they reunite with family members and get back into the flow of life, or for some, back into now what is life. You know what I mean? Some have not known any different, and during the holidays, it can be a trying time. It can be a triggering time for those during the holidays, especially. It'll be different for my family with the loss of a loved one. It's going to hit a little different during the holidays, or if you've got aging parents or whatever that is, and you're in the road of recovery, and then you're putting yourself back into that environment. It can be triggering, but do know you're not alone. That's why I'm taking, and then just breathe. Just take it one day. If you need to step away, pull it together.
Yeah.
Do it. Like you said, go in there with a game plan. These are all amazing things that they are doing at Hope Haven. And we can't get out of here, Karen, without you telling folks how they can find you, how they can get in contact with you, because someone watching this right now may have a loved one, or maybe themselves that go, you know what? I need help. I need help.
Wow. Best thing they can do is go to our website, hopehaveninc.org. Everything you need is right there. How to get admissions. If you're on the phone in the back room, you don't want anybody to know, you can do your application from right there. It's mobile friendly. If you have questions and you're just not sure, you can give us a call, 704-372-8809. You're going to get our front desk, and all you have to say is, I want to get admitted. How do I get admissions? They'll transfer you to me, transfer you to a director of admissions, and we'll walk you through the entire process. You don't even have to give your name. You can call from someone else's number. Reach out. Don't stay there. Secrets keep us sick. Reach out. We're here. We're here 24 hours a day. I'm actually working on Christmas Eve. I'm going to be smoking some chickens. My staff loves it. So come out, call us. That's what we're here for.
Again, we appreciate you, Karen King, for sharing what Hope Haven is doing. And if you need help from Hope Haven and you're like, you know what, I'm ready for a change. I'm ready to be the new me going into 2025. The location, the information, the website, all that will be located right here at the bottom of the screen. Want to give special thank you again to Mecklenburg County ABC Board for making all of this possible. Just providing the community with means and resources such as Hope Haven Incorporated, and they're doing some amazing things. And we're going to close out with this quote, which is on your website, Hope Haven website. It's hardships often prepare ordinary people for extraordinary destiny, and that's by C.S. Lewis, and that is so true. And I'm going to take that with me through the holidays, and everyone can take that with them as well. And recovery for the holidays can be difficult, okay? It's going to be challenging. I'll just say it like it's going to be challenging, but Karen has shared some takeaways for us to use to make sure we are successful, navigating this through the holidays, make sure our mental health is where it needs to be as we get through the holidays. And again, Karen, you guys are doing some amazing stuff, and we really appreciate you pouring into the community and helping people have a road to recovery that is one that's going to set them up for success.
Thank you so much, Madison. Thank you for all you're doing. These segments are outstanding. People can listen to them from their home in the quiet. Thank you for all that you're doing. I really, really appreciate it.
Well, that's a wrap for us. Happy holidays, everyone, and take care.